Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Good evening, everyone. This is your host for tonight, and I heartily welcome you all for an interesting as well as interactive session. My name is Sayam Chorya. We have arranged today's meet. This meet is arranged by Busy Minds. We are a team of aspiring young teens. It is a group where people get to hear the best and youngest entrepreneurs of India about their success, experience, and journey. Today, we all are here to have an interaction with Aasthay Atray ma'am on the topic shaping career by doing multiple things at the same time. She is a bachelor's of literature from Delhi University. She is a journalist by day for Sunday Midday and Midday India, and an all-rounder all the other time. She, being a writer, poet, author, singer, podcast on Spotify, and a fantastic orator, has left us all in awestruck and amazed that how could a person do so many things that adds feathers to one's career. She is a Harlequin Mills and Bones winner and India's second Mills and Boone writer with the book His Monsoon Bride. She has been writing since she was 13. Enid Blyton used to inspire her to write novels about her friends and their adventures. Now, she writes about how people and society is changing. Her relentless optimism, positivity, and sheer grace will leave you all hooked. So let's hear her. Before this, I would like to hand it to my co-host who will quickly recap the rules and regulations of this session. Harsh, unmute.
Sorry. Hey, this is your co-host Harsh. I shall quickly recap the protocols. It's a humble request to everyone to please keep themselves muted and turn on their videos so that the session remains lively. You all can respond in the chat box so that the session becomes more interactive. You can ask your questions in the chat box. Over to you, Aastha ma'am.
So, should I come on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay. Hi, guys. Can I see everyone before I start talking? They can all put on their videos, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so guys, put on your videos. It's always nice to see faces. Lovely. Sanyam, thanks for that very nice introduction. I was also surprised कि किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो. मैं सोच रही थी किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो. तो thank you so much. तुमने research भी किया. You found out things which I haven't even told you, that I went to what college and what I did in college and all that, and what inspired me when I was a child and all that. So I'm very impressed with your research. स्टॉकर बनने का प्लान है तुम्हारा. हैकर बनोगे तुम आगे जाके. So hi guys. I mean, as Sanyam said, he started off by saying that find something you love and then do that, and I think that is very, very important, and you guys are young enough to now figure out what is that and go after it, and you have all these tools at your disposal, like social media and the internet, which is like an amazing tool to use to go ahead. I got onto it much later because Instagram only came to India maybe 8-9 years ago, and I was already 30 by then. So as Sanyam said, I'm a young entrepreneur, not so young, but I am. It's happening all now. So I'll start by saying that yes, exactly, it is right. You have to figure out what you're good at and what is your passion. And I figured out early that I liked reading, and my parents fed my reading habit, and I was never refused books. Matlab, all my birthday gifts after a point were only books, and I used to only read. And I would read on the, in bed, on the dining table, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, everywhere I would read. So I think somewhere that set my it set the path for me to write, and I used to write, and I had a lot of friends in school, and we used to do all these mad things. And Enid Blyton used to write Famous Five, Pada Hoga, Secret Seven, those kind of books. And Famous Five inspired me. Ki, okay, I also have these friends, and I used to write these small stories about adventure with my friends. And some of my oldest friends still have those books which are like papers stapled together, and I used to give everyone and say, read it and tell me how it is. So I knew that I wanted to write. And it was, I think, in class 11th or 12th when when you decide कि क्या करना है, commerce करना है. क्योंकि दिल्ली में थोड़ा system different है. I think, I don't know नासिक में system क्या है, but Delhi में 11th and 12th is a part of school. It's not junior college. So you decide what you want to do. So I wanted to do humanities, which is arts, and I was told कि but there's nothing in arts. Do commerce, so do science. You have good enough marks in your boards to do commerce. But मुझे पता था if I try and do commerce, it will be like a car wreck. I will not be good at it. I will fail. So I told my parents कि you don't want to put me in commerce because it won't happen. I won't be able to do it. I won't like to study. So put me in arts. So they said fine. So I did arts, and then I did literature in college, which was very easy for me because I always liked reading, and all it was books and more books, and all you had to do was read the books and answer the questions that were asked on them. So without even actually studying, I got through three years of college just by reading the book, because once I read the book, I knew I could answer a question about the book. So I made an important decision there about my career, about what I knew I was good at, what my interest was, and what I could have managed to do. If I would have tried to do science or medicine or law or anything else which was not keeping with my mental capacity, wo nahi hota. So you guys should know what you're good at. Tell your parents, this is what I'm good at. If you let me do this, I will do a good job. So I think that's the first thing to move to a good career. So I became a journalist. That also happened by chance. After college, after 3 years of college, I did an internship at a newspaper called Asian Age, which was in Delhi. And that internship just turned into a job. I never left. I became an editor there, and I used to edit copies. If you know what happens in journalism, how the paper is taken out, you edit copies, you give headlines, you put it on a page, and it goes for print, and that's what you see the next day. So I used to do that. And so I sort of learned everything in the job. I had done literature. I had not done journalism or mass media. I think the year I passed out of school, which was 2002, was the first time Delhi University even had a journalism course. They started a mass comm course in 2002. That was the first year. But I did English. I did literature. I didn't do mass comm. I didn't even know I wanted to be a journalist till I joined as an intern. And I joined as an intern in a newspaper because I was good in English. So I was like, okay, at least I can edit and write. So the one good thing that happened with joining journalism and then moving to writing from editing, was that I already liked to write. And I decided that it was good to do something in my real life, which was something that I liked doing, which was writing. So it was not far away from, I wanted to write fiction, but even writing non-fiction, like being a journalist, was at least writing. I was going to office every day and writing, and talking to people. And that's what you do. How do you do your stories? You talk to people. So two things I was good at, talking to people and writing. And I combined that to become a journalist. But then journalism is a very hectic profession. It looks all very glamorous, but it's not glamorous. It's a lot of work. If you meet a celebrity also, you have to wait for sometimes 10 hours to meet a celebrity. So not glamorous. I recently interviewed Salman Khan, I think in December, and I waited 9 hours for him. 9 hours, from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock, something like that. I waited for him. So after a while, it loses that glamorous thing is only wo dikhta hai ki it's all glamorous, but it's a lot of work, and it's a pretty low paying job compared to all other jobs when you do MBAs and all, and you get this nice big salary. My first salary was 3,500 rupees. That is 3,500 in 2002. So I am like, it has taken me a long time to progress to where I am. And that's also like, journalism is not a very lucrative profession. So you have to be really committed to what you want to do. You have to say, this is a vocation. This is what I like doing. And अब इसके सिवा मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती. And that's why you're there. So choose a profession that you don't mind doing for even lesser money, because it's your passion. So you'll figure out ways to make money later, but right now choose a profession you're good at, you're passionate about, you'll spend time on it, you'll work hard at it. That's the best way to do it. So I joined Asian Age, then I moved to Bombay and I joined a fashion magazine called Elle. It was the worst job in my life. Very hard to fit in fashion magazines, and when you're younger it's very, very hard to fit into a group of people who are very different. And then I joined DNA. I worked at DNA, I worked at HT Brunch, I worked at Midday before. I went after Midday, I went and worked at Open Magazine, the Helka magazine. I won a few awards at the Helka for doing some of the great stories I did there. And that was very good because I did a lot of on-ground stories. So I met, like, one of the best stories I did for the Helka was that I met a group of girls in Nagpada, in Bombay, where Daud comes from Nagpada. That is why Nagpada is so famous. He belongs to Nagpada. It's a poor community, poor slum. And there were a bunch of girls there who used to play basketball. And I did a story on them. They were Muslim girls who used to play basketball. And I did a story on them, and that story won an award as well. So I did some good stories while I was at the Helka and Open, which are long form writing. And then I joined Sunday Midday, which is where I am for the last 4 years. I write for the Sunday edition of the Midday newspaper. I'm sure you've all heard of Midday if you've ever been to Bombay. It's a very Bombay paper. पहले वो 2 बार आता था दिन में, सुबह और शाम. Now it only comes once. So I work for Midday. So, but it was around, when I was around 30, I was 29, and I was wondering ki, 8-9 years have gone and you have just been doing the same thing. You get involved in that rut of doing a job. You go to office, you do the same thing, you come back, you do the same thing, then you go back to office, and you get involved and you forget your dreams. But that is the thing, you can't forget your dreams. So my dream was to write a book, and I was turning 30, and I was like, Arey, I'm turning 30 and I've not written a book and all that. And at that time, there's a publishing house called Mills and Boons. I'm sure some of your mothers must have read Mills and Boons, and you would have them at your home. They are those romance novels. They're very famous. They are 100 years old, is the publishing company. And they came to India and they were looking for Indian authors. And I wrote a short story and I sent it to them, and I won that contest. And I wrote my book before I turned 30. So I think that was the turning point in my life, because I realized ki you cannot let your daily job, which maybe pays your bills and gives you a salary, even though it's the job you like to do, stop you from doing everything else, So you have to decide what you like doing and then find different ways of doing that. So for me, the main thing was writing. So journalism is a part of that, which is writing. I wrote a book, which was a part of that. Then, because Instagram came to India and, Facebook and social media became such a big thing, I started writing poetry, which was on Instagram. And lots of people started writing to me. I write about love and romance and heartbreaks. And lots of people started writing to me, and they were like, how did you know what we were thinking? And so it was just putting together my own experiences and writing. Again, something that I was good at. So I started writing poetry. Then one day, one of my friends who's a musician saw one of the poems, and she said, why don't we make this poem into a song? I said, okay. And she put a tune to it, and I went into a studio and I sang the song. And that song became my first song, called Pretty Boy. If you guys get a chance, go on YouTube, type my name, and you will find all my songs. So I became a singer. Just by chance. I mean, we all have those dreams of becoming rock stars, na? तो वो सबके में होता है. तो but you have to go out there and try it. So I tried it and it worked. I have 4 songs out there, originals, which I have written. And then came the next step. So what happened at this point was, when I was 33, 34, 35, I was turning older. I was caring more and more less. I didn't care about what people thought. Like, people think Arey, you think you're a singer? Arey, you think you're a writer? Arey, you think you can do this? Arey, you think you can do that? Yes, you should try everything. But keep it coming from a space that's a genuine space which you really like, which you say that I'm good at this and I'm going to do different things. So what happened with all the writing was that I was connecting with a lot of young people and older people who were writing into me about their love problems because I was writing about love. And usse nikla podcast called Love Aajkal, which I host on Spotify. It's been now 3 years since I've been doing Love Aajkal, and with my friend Ankit, we both talk about love and relationships. We talk about it through our own experiences. We talk about it in a very non-judgmental way. Even if we're talking about little taboo subjects, we are never judgmental, and it has done really, really well. Its first 2 seasons were on Savan, and we were getting around 100,000 streams per episode. And now we are a Spotify original, and we are in our second season now, which has just started. So everything has sort of come through one thing, which was writing, which was me writing. I still connect with or everybody who follows me. I write on Instagram. I write about positivity. I write about love. I write about relationships. I write about, ambition and doing things. And I think you need to, as Sanyam said, you have to find something that you like doing and then spend your life doing it. I heard another good quote on Mad Men. There's a show where he says that find something you want to do and then be the person to do it. So you have to become the person who does it. You have to find your passion, be it as niche as whatever you guys live in a time when social media pe kuch bhi, you can do anything. You can do anything and become successful, famous, popular. Lots of money can come, but you have to be consistent in your effort. You have to keep doing it. You don't have to worry about kaun kya soch raha hai. These are my 3 points actually. I feel that firstly, find something that you know you're good at, you're passionate about, you want to do, and then find different ways of doing it. So I took words, which was writing. I did a podcast out of it. I did a song out of it. I write books out of it. I write short stories. I work at a newspaper, and I also write poetry on Instagram. So everything is connected to writing. Secondly, I don't care about judgment. I don't care about what people think of my song, of my podcast. You have to keep doing it. You have to be consistent and genuine in your content. And once that happens, you guys you'll be fine. There you will find an audience. And thirdly, you need to put yourself out there. Ghar pe likhne se kuch nahi hoga. Writing in your little diary won't help it. You have to put it out there. So many people write to me and say, I write poetry, how to do it? I said, you're on Instagram. Put it on Instagram. You'll find people who will like it. You'll find people who will connect with it, because people are looking for art to consume. They want to consume art. They will consume art, and you will find an audience. I might not like it, but somebody else might like it. So there are millions of people online who are waiting to consume art or a business or a business idea or anything you want to do. So don't let I even say this, like I'm doing creative things in every sphere, even writing. But even if you're doing a 9 to 5 job, even if you're an MBA, even if you want to become an engineer or a lawyer or go into the army or whatever, you can do that as your full-time job, but you can always do many other things on the side. Don't think that just because I do one job, I can't. So you have to manage your time. But I also think it's not about managing your time. It's about being passionate about something. Once you're passionate about something, you will find time for it. You will say, मैं रात को करूँगा, सुबह करूँगा, weekend पे करूँगा. I won't go out one night, but I will work on my thing. You'll always be on your phone. You'll Instagram all the time. You will find time for it. So don't let one job be everything. Find many things you're good at. And that can be, but it stems out of one passion that you have or one interest that you have. So you might be an engineer, but you might like to talk about model trains or talk about wrestling. I'm talking about boys, or talk about music. You can always start a podcast on music. You can always start an Instagram handle to talk about Bollywood music or international music. You guys might be doctors or lawyers or but you might like fashion. So start an Instagram account about fashion. There are like somebody just told me, why don't you do fashion videos? I said, ki bhai, there are so many fashion influencers out there. So they said, but we don't relate to all of them. We relate to you. So why don't you do one? So that gave me an idea. I was like, okay, even I can do a fashion video also because people relate to me. They think of me as themselves and they see themselves in me. So they might be more tempted to wear what I wear instead of a typical fashion influencer. So so that is my journey. Those are my points, that you have to do something that stems out of your passion and your interests, and then everything will just happen around it. So today I'm a podcaster, I'm a singer, I'm a published author. I write short stories every month. My fifth book is being printed by HarperCollins, and I'm a full-time journalist with Sunday Midday. I'm an assistant editor there. I write stories that come out every Sunday. I write about celebrities and music and movies, and so that is what I'm doing. So and that sounds like a lot of things, but they all stem out of the one thing that I like to do, which is writing, and the one passion I have, which is writing about love and romance. So since it stems out of that, it's not too much for me. It seamlessly happens in my life. So we'll take some questions because I'm getting lots of them. So Sanyam, do you want to do this? How do we do this?
Yes. One by one, I'll ask you.
Chalo. Bolo.
One by one, I'll ask you the question.
Sure. And guys, put on your videos. I'd like to see who all ask me questions. Yeah.
The first question is from Tanisha Kankriya. What are the major challenges you face in the field of journalism and how to tackle them?
Major challenges you face in the field of journalism is that it's not a high-paying job, so you have to be ready for that. And also you need to know how to talk to people. So if you're shy or a introvert, that might be a problem. You have to get over all your inhibitions and ask anything to anyone. Matlab, I have been told to go to actors and ask them about their love life, and I have to be shameless and ask them. So even though I'm like, nahi, mujhko nahi puchna, but you have to ask them. So you have to have no inhibitions and be a little prepared that it might take you a little while to earn a lot of money. I think those are the main two challenges of journalism.
Yes. The next question is from Janvi Pagaria. How would you manage the stress of tight deadlines?
I think I work best on deadlines because then you know कि अगर अभी नहीं किया तो bye bye, they will throw you out of your job. So I take
that job.
Huh?
Deadline is important.
Deadline is very important. I think it's good to set yourself a deadline and say कि I want to do it by this time, because otherwise projects will just be hanging in the air. कुछ होगा नहीं. So use that nervous energy of a deadline to actually push yourself. So don't get hyper, say कि ये है, and start much in advance so that you can finish. But if the deadline is tomorrow, then just sit in the night and in the day and do it. Know that it's important and you need to finish it. Just take it like that.
Yes. The next question is from Yana. Is there a particular time when you feel the urge to write in? How do you choose your ideas?
No particular time. If you're a writer, you can write anytime. I used to write when I was traveling to work and all. I would write in the auto, I would write in the train, I would write in the cab rides. Every time I saw something that was interesting, I would write, because you're getting inspired all the time. So there's no particular time. You would write when you're inspired, and then you write when you're on deadline, as she asked before. So those are the two times. And what was the second part of it?
How do you choose your ideas?
How do I choose my ideas is through observation. I mean, journalists and writers are observers. You have to sit and watch the world around you and be like, "Ye isne aise kyun kiya? Wahan kyun hua?" Like, through the pandemic, ye jo ho raha hai, I've been finding ideas on Instagram because people are talking. No, people are saying ki, "Oh, now I'm," like I did a story about how relationships are changing during pandemic. There are many, people who are apart. There are many people who are forced to stay together. So how that is affecting you. So observations. You have to observe the world around you and ideas just come.
Yes. The next question is from Prathamesh Akole. Does journalism play a major role for you as a writer?
Yes, of course. Journalism taught me how to write because we are all writers. But a lot of people who ask me how to write, they ask me how to start. And I always say read more because once you're reading, you know structure, you know ki, kaise shuru hota hai, first para mein kya likho, second mein, because you've been reading so much, you know structure. But I don't think it comes that easily. But in journalism, because you are trained and you are there writing a story every day, jisme beginning, middle, end, you get to know structure very well. You know how to structure your story. You know ki shuru mein kya dalna hai, beech mein kya dalna hai, end mein kya dalna hai. So journalism actually has made me a better writer. It has improved my language skills. It has improved my writing skills because I write every day. I'm getting better as a writer because I'm practicing writing every day. So yes, it's a big part of me being a writer.
The next question is from Prasansa Brahmecha. How do you come up with ideas for your audience?
Audience means when I don't get that. Ideas for my audience means what? Like what I write?
Maybe yes.
So I write about love and romance, especially on Instagram, and I think ideas have come to me because lots of people have written to me about their love problems. So I know heartbreak is a big problem. In millennial kids, heartbreak happens very easily. Breakups happen very easily. So I write about what they are talking to me about. So yeah.
The next question is from Neha Pagaria. Can you describe the 3 best qualities of your writing style?
I'm very real. I don't write very fancy prose, which you won't understand. So it's very real. It's very something that you can understand easily and that you will relate to. So I'm very real and relatable. You will feel ki I've also gone through this. And I think those are my biggest qualities as a writer.
There are many writers here with us.
Lovely.
The next question is from Ayush Mutta.
Yeah.
How to manage our time effectively while multitasking without compromising any other thing?
So I was watching a video recently which was talking about how to do this thing. And that guy, I think it was Robin Sharma, I was watching a video and he said, choose 3 things that you want to do and then concentrate on those 3 things. So for me, I was like, okay, what do I want to put? So I said, I want to pick my job. I want to pick writing books and I want to pick podcasting. So I might give singing a little break because I need to concentrate on these 3 things the best that I can. And everything else can be on the side. So I have chosen 3 things to concentrate on so that I don't do too much. So make a priority list and choose what you want on the top of that priority list and go on it accordingly so that you don't कि एक को करने के लिए तुम दूसरा नहीं करो. So choose and know realistically how much can you do. So if you can only do 2 things at a time, then only do 2 things, but do them well. Don't compromise on the others. So priority banao. Ki what is more important to you? Is writing more important to you? Is being an engineer more important to you? Is being on social media more important to you? So choose.
The next question is from me. How do you handle the frustrations? Because so many things, it's not easily done. So how do you handle those frustrations? Even in your journalist job or even while writing or managing people, getting people known, how do you do that?
Are you asking me how it is hard to manage doing all the other things, or is it hard to manage in journalism how to find things?
No. How do you handle the frustration? At times, it feels
when
like
things don't work out.
हाँ मतलब बहुत ज्यादा लोड हो गया, इतना ज्यादा करके भी कुछ फायदा नहीं, तो ये चीज कर लेते हैं अच्छे से, बट मन कहता है कि सब कर लेते हैं सब.
So it happens to me all the time. See, when you have a full-time job and they're paying you, they expect you to do this. So there are days when I'm like, I don't have time to to do my own thing. I don't have even time to go on Instagram. I don't have time to, do a webinar like this or make a video क्योंकि I have to file a copy जो मुझे 4 बजे तक भेजना है 5 बजे तक. All that happens. But I think on those days you have to remind yourself that you are grateful, especially in this time. You're grateful to have a job. You're grateful to whatever you have is great, and you have to say कि आज के लिए I'm going to do this, but tomorrow I'm going to take some time. So it's all about your mind space, and you have to be positive during the worst time you're having frustration when things are not working out. Then finish, as I said, make a priority list and finish what is most important. I always make a list and say, and work is on top of it. And I'm like, this time tak I will finish this, and then I will do social media, then I will do something else. Like these days I've been getting a lot of requests to do these webinars, and I'm like, array 8:30, 6:30, how will I do it? But if you overthink, then you will never do it. So sit down calmly and say, okay, this day I will do this day I will do this until this time. Maybe you'll have to wake up a little early, maybe you'll have to sleep a little late, maybe you won't be having that afternoon nap that we all love. So you have to calmly think of it and prioritize.
Yes, I was happy you said yes for this webinar.
Yes, me too.
I'll like to hand over to my co-host Harsh. He'll ask the next questions.
Sure.
Next question is from Samyak. I am writing a book. I am writing a book currently on youth. Can you please assist me with some recommendation? Would be really appreciated.
On youth.
Yes.
What does that mean? He's writing a book on young people. So you are young. तो मेरे से recommendation तो लेके. But I think if you're trying to write a book, then and if it's a non-fiction which is on something specific, then try and read other books which are written like that, because they give you inspiration. They also give you ideas. They also tell you how. Maybe if it's a bad book, it'll tell you what you don't want to write. But read as much. I think read up about your topic of interest as much as you can. जितना research कर सकते हो उतना करो. जितना books पढ़ सकते हो उस पे पढ़ो. So I think that's the best recommendation I can give someone who's writing non-fiction about young people. That read up, have lots of conversations with young people. That's another one which will make it all to your book. So talk to a lot of people who you think you're writing about, and read a lot about the topic that you have chosen.
Okay. Next question is from Ayush. What are your startup ideas?
I think my startup ideas, I would again go with my own thing. I want to, maybe start an app about love and relationships. So I think anything you're good at, you should think of making a startup. And startups are like doing really well these days. So if you have a startup idea, please don't hesitate and just do it.
Okay. Next question is from Ayush Mutta.
Yeah.
How to manage our time effectively while multitasking without compromising any other thing?
This we answered. Okay, I think we didn't answer the one after that. If you're not clear about your career, how would you get clear about it? Right?
Just a second. Yes.
Yes. So if you're not clear about your career, Raghunandan, thoda time spend karo, introspection karo ki what are you good at. I think everybody knows what they really want to do. Or we are all like Hrithik Roshan from Lakshya, who's still like, when he joins the army, then he realizes that is what he's meant to do. So, but we can't all do that. So figure out, spend some time on thinking, what all do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you like spending most time on? Do you like spending time on video games the most? Maybe do you want to design a video game? Do you like watching movies the most? So do you want to do something in Bollywood? Do you want to move to Bombay and do something in Bollywood? Thoda socho, it will come to you if you spend time with yourself and figure out what you want to do.
Okay. Next question is from Palak Duggad. Who is your ideal person in your person, and what were the characteristics?
Who is my ideal person in my personal life? or
Yes.
in general? Who's my mentor?
Yes, your mentor.
Yes, so my mentor, I would say, is a writer, Japanese writer called Haruki Murakami. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's a Japanese writer. He writes on love and romance and relationships. And if you guys haven't heard of him, please read him. His name is Haruki Murakami. And I'm a fan of his writing, but I'm also a fan of how he lives his life. He's very, very focused. He's very dedicated to one thing. Unlike me, he's only dedicated to writing, and he's also dedicated to swimming. And he's a marathon runner, and he loves jazz. But he's very, very focused on his relationship with the reader, with his fan. So he has made writing the main thing in his life. So he said that he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and writes for 6 hours, and then after that he swims and he runs for a few kilometers, and then he listens to music in the evening and goes to sleep at 7 o'clock because he has to get up at 4 o'clock. And he said that he's lost a lot of friends and lots of friends along life because tum socialize nahi karte ho, you sleep at 7 and get up at 4. So but he said, but my most important relationship in my life is with my reader, and I need to write books for them, and for that I need to be focused and committed to my craft. And so he's my mentor. The day I start getting up at 4 o'clock, I would have imbibed him. So he's the role model that I have. He's the screensaver on my phone also. So he's my role model.
Okay, next question is from Janvi. You knew you wanted to become a writer. Somewhere you knew how to connect to people. What do you think? How should people who are non-writers build their speaking abilities and come out bold?
Yeah, I think I was always like this. So it's easy for me to say it that I like doing that, but I was always an extrovert. But I think I have seen many people in my life who are introverts, who are shy, but they really make the effort. It's actually who was the one who asked me this question? What was her name? Janvi. You have to fake it till you make it. That's the one thing that you have to do. So you have to pretend that you are confident, and you have to pretend that you're extrovert, and you have to pretend that you're not scared of people around you. And kaun hai samne? Mat socho. Think about what you want to say. Think about your dreams. Think about how you need to get your ideas across, and make that the main motivation to fake it till you make it. And once it becomes a habit, you might be shy and you might be introvert, but when you're in front of people, it will happen. There are many famous people, many famous writers, and actors specifically, who are very shy in their real lives, but unko screen pe dekho to they become somebody else, because that is their craft. So when it comes to doing what you're passionate, think of that and leave all this behind you ki kaun sun raha hai, kaun kya keh raha hai, kya ho raha hai. Fake it, just fake it, pretend it कि जाके बस बोल दो. अब अंदर your heart is beating fast and your knees are wobbling. It's okay, it'll happen for a few times, but after that it will become a habit for you to turn it on when you are in front of people, and then when you're alone you can be your shy self again. So practice it.
Okay, ma'am, well answered. Next question is from Nishika Jain. How to go about your career after your degree, 10 plus 2 plus 3, that is after bachelor's, if you're not clear about your passion only?
That's a problem, I think. But choose, as I said, that I did not know in class 11th and 12th that I wanted to spend my life being a journalist. मुझे नहीं पता था. There was no journalism concept also when I was in school. So, but I knew that I cannot do maths, or I cannot do science, or I cannot do accounting and all, क्योंकि मेरा maths खराब है. तो मुझे वो पता था. So I was at least clear कि what are my capabilities as far as studies go. So I said कि 11th, 12th, I will do arts because I can do history and geography and pol science. I can do that. I can deal with it. I can figure it out. I can do well in my boards and try and get some good marks to get into a good college. So at least try and do that. Try and figure out what are you good at in your syllabus or whatever the subjects that you have, and then pick subjects that you'll be able to do good at. And maybe that will sort of in 11th and 12th, you'll figure out as you grow older what you want.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is from Param Kotari. It is an interesting question. Which is the best social media platform or private platform to connect to celebrities personally? Like if we wanna connect to them, so how can we do that?
I don't think there is any way to connect connect to a celebrity. Nobody answers. There are millions of followers. There are some celebrities, I think, who want to interact with their with their fans. So I think Instagram is the best place to maybe leave a message or to send a DM, and you never know, you might get lucky.
Okay. Likewise, you do many things at the same time. What are your priorities among all of these things?
Um, it's a hard one. I think right now my priority is my podcast. It's doing very well. It's helping me connect with all you young people, and there are lots of young people who write to me about their relationship problems, and it's not just love problems, it's problems with their parents or with their friends, and if I can help them in any way and get their mind sorted when all of you are younger and you should just be focusing on the good things in life, I think that's great. So I love doing my podcast, and that's my priority right now.
Okay. Next question is from Prashansa Brahmecha. According to you, how should one deal with procrastination?
That happens to all of us. Na, we all procrastinate. कल
Yes,
करेंगे.
yes.
मैं तो काफी दिन से कर रही हूँ. For my last book, I'm like, tomorrow I will write that chapter. It's been happening. I think one day you just have to sit down. You just have to say कि भाई बहुत हो गया. You have to realize that you have to tell yourself that if you keep procrastinating, opportunities also go away. They don't keep waiting for you. So nothing is just sitting around and waiting for you. कि अभी you can take 5 years to write a book. It's not waiting for you. If you have an opportunity and you procrastinate too much, the opportunity will go away and find someone else. So remind yourself of that and do not procrastinate and start working. So एक दिन चला गया, 2 दिन लॉकडाउन में छुट्टी मिली, had fun, slept a lot, but now it's time to work.
Yes, yes. Next question is from Shirang Deshpande. What message you will give to the youngsters about upcoming term journalism?
It's a great career. It's a very right now during pandemic, thoda sa it has suffered because people have lost jobs and newspapers have shut down, and now everybody gets their news on social media. So
Yes,
if
yes.
you really want to become a journalist, be very clear in your head that it is the only thing that you can do. It's a vocation. It's like being a doctor. So journalism choose करना है तो उसको glamour के लिए मत choose करो. Choose because that's what you want to do. You want to tell stories. You want to talk, tell what is happening in the world. So choose it for the right reasons. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Next question. Every career is best. It all depends on our skill. What is your opinion? Which skills help you in your career?
I think the skills that have helped me in my career is that I can talk to anyone. I have done interviews, during the bomb blast. I have gone and done interviews then in Bombay, and I have done interviews with like the biggest celebrities. So it is my ability to talk to anyone. I think is my biggest strength as a journalist, and I can get things like my boss always sends me to talk to journalists who don't talk, to talk to celebrities who don't talk much, because she thinks that I can get them to talk to me. I have that ability. Yes, so because I'm easy to talk to, so I think that's my biggest strength.
Okay. Our next question is from Manav. I am an electronic music composer and looking for some short lyrics for my song and not able to write proper lyrics. So shall I write by my own or take help of someone?
Please take help. Do not ever be afraid to ask for help. Ask help from your friends. Ask someone who might be a poet and doesn't know music. That's exactly what happened to me. I'm not a musician, but I had a friend who was a musician. So she gave me a tune and I wrote the lyrics and I sang. So it all happened. Collaboration is a very important tool in the time that you live. It's all about working with people,
Okay. Next question from Sayam, my co-host.
Yes.
What would be your job if not journalism?
What would I like to do if I was not a journalist or a writer? I don't know. I don't know. It's a very tough question. Um, mm, Maybe a classical dancer. I used to dance when I was younger. I used to do. I learned kuchipudi. So maybe if I had kept going on down that path, I might have become a classical dancer.
Great.
Okay. And next question is from Harshvardhan Boraste. How would you handle a hostile or uncooperative interviewee?
Okay, let me give you an example. I went to interview Salman Khan and I waited 9 hours for him, and he's very scary. तो उसके बारे में सुना है कि अगर like outside all the other journalists were there, वो पहले से they have interviewed him and I was interviewing him for the first time. And they were like, it all depends on his mood. If he's in a good mood, he'll give you answers for everything. You might ask him about Katrina or anybody and he'll answer. But if he's in a bad mood, then he will not give you any answers. He will just say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So I was like, "Arey, abhi what to go? Aadha 9 घंटा के बाद you have waited for 9 hours and you go inside." So the best thing I have realized that if a person is hostile, so there are two types of hostile. There's like Salman Khan type who is maybe a little cocky and they are like they're testing you. Like he was poking me, thinking that I will get affected, but because I was laughing it off and I was poking him in response, it turned out to be a nice interview and we both made fun of each other. He made fun of me, a journalist, and I made fun of actors. And so you can't be intimidated by the person. Basically, that if someone is being rude to you, then you should just say bye. I don't want to do this interview and walk off from there. If somebody is trying to be tough with you, then you have to just employ, मतलब उनका intimidate नहीं होना चाहिए कि अरे you're such a big star and you're Salman Khan or you're Shah Rukh Khan. It's okay. They are not stars without a journalist writing about them. So do not be intimidated. Do not get scared. Do not be like, I don't know how to handle this. You know how to handle it. If they're very rude, say it's okay. I don't think you want to answer these questions. So we won't do this interview. I would do that. And otherwise, I would just laugh along. And if they make fun of journalists, I also make fun of actors. So it's all okay.
Okay, I would hand over to Sayam for further questions.
Sure.
So the next questions, a few questions are from YouTube.
Bolo.
Tejal Wag asked the question, ma'am, what if someone loves to write but finds it boring when it comes to read? Like, how can we gain interest in reading too?
Interesting. I think don't read very heavy stuff. There are a lot of fun things to read. There is comics. A lot of my slang, a lot of my English came from the fact that I used to read Archie's while growing up. And I learned a lot of English from Archie's, American English. So you don't need to always read, say, heavy books. Easy books पढ़ो, comics पढ़ो, illustrated novels पढ़ो, romance पढ़ो. It's damn easy to have fun. Read the thrillers. Read. Do some research and say what are the thrillers of this time. Read thrillers, which are all very easy to do. So read all that. So it'll be easier because these are lighter books to read.
Yes. The next question is from Nihar Bhandari. She says that doing all these things needs a high support, maybe in your highs and maybe in your lows. So who is your support system?
My family has been my biggest support system, I would say, because my parents have never told me ki ye karo, wo nahi karo. I think they realized early ki I'm only good in English. So they said, let her do whatever she has to do. So they have never asked me why I do what I do, or how less I get paid, or when will I do something else, so why didn't I do my MBA. So I think your family is in my case, my family is my they made me read. My parents gave me books which led me here. So I know a lot of parents who don't want to spend money on books maybe, but I think it's a very good investment and you should spend on books. So my parents, my mother gave me a lot of books and never said no to books. So I think they are responsible for me becoming a writer.
Yes, I also heard in an interview video that you said your all credits are to your parents because they gave gifts on your birthdays, only
Yes.
books.
Yes.
So
I think after age 7 or 8, when I used to get Barbies till 7 or 8, after that I only got books, which is great.
the next question is from Manisha Pizza. How do I
Yeah.
network more effectively?
Hello. How do I network more effectively? Is that the question?
Yes.
So again, I mean, I think you guys have portals like Instagram, like Facebook to reach out to people. So reach out to people, follow people on Instagram, like their posts and talk about their posts. I think that's a good way to make connects. Facebook is the same way you can do it. And you guys are in college, like get over who your friend circle is and talk to other people in college, and go and have a bigger friend group. Don't just stay in your friends group. I think that's a good thing. You collaborate like that, you network like that. So social media and since you guys are in college and you will be meeting a lot of people, I think those are good ways to network right now.
Yes. So the next question is from me. Can you tell an incident where you have interviewed a, a famous person or a celebrity and they have reacted very weirdly?
Never. I'm trying to think if they've reacted very weirdly. I think the only time that happened was before I went to interview Sonam Kapoor and Anil Kapoor, which I've interviewed them many times. But this was before that movie came out, where recently last year, where she plays an LGBTQ character. She plays a lesbian in one of the movies. And I think she didn't want to talk about the movie. So when I asked her about the movie, she said, "Can we do this interview after you have watched the movie?" So they sent me back till I had to watch the movie, which was not released then. So I had to wait for it to release and then I had to go and talk to them. So, yes, sometimes that happens. But other than that, I've had mostly good experiences, except the waiting part when you have to wait so long.
Mm. Would you like to tell some advices that in this lockdown you can what productive can you do? Still, the lockdown is not over, and
What productive things you can do?
yes.
So, of course, it depends on what you guys like doing. So, if you have time, of course, as I said, read a lot, and if you're spending time on social media, be careful about who you follow, and try and do stuff on social media. Make videos. अब तो TikTok बंद हो गया है, तो वो तो नहीं कर सकते. But make videos. If you like funny stuff, make videos on funny stuff. If you want to write and share poetry, this is the time to do it. Use that. Everybody is on the internet, so everybody is reading, everybody is watching videos. Make videos, sing, write. There's so much to do. Watch some interesting documentaries. I mean, I don't have enough time, otherwise I would watch more. Read more. If you like painting, this is the time. Paint what you see in your house. Paint the trees that you see out of your window. Paint. Find a hobby. There are great apps to learn languages. I would always recommend that. Duolingo is a good app. So learn a language. There's a lot of time right now, so you can do everything you wanted to. जो college में नहीं time मिलता है कि I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Do that. If you want to start a fashion Instagram account, start a fashion Instagram account. Talk about what you wear. Anything can be done at this time.
Yeah. The next question is from Komal Jasal. She says that I want to write stories like you, and you are my inspiration. I read books but not started writing.
Well, you have to start, Komal. You just have to start. वो जब तक start नहीं होगा, जो आता है mind में वो लिखो. And then everybody finds an editor to edit their stuff. So don't worry about language. Don't worry about whatever. Just think about how you would, if I was your best friend, how would you tell me a story? And then write it like that. And then धीरे धीरे you will get better. So read, a lot and write along. You have to practice every day 300 words, right? 300 words every day.
The next question is from Master Srirang Deshpande. Give some words on pressurized journalism by political parties and leaders.
I think I'm sure that happens, but mostly with like TV channels. See, everybody takes a side, and I feel it's very wrong for a journalist to take sides. We don't take sides. We report what's happening. We sometimes don't even have an opinion on what's happening. We have to report as truthfully as we can. That's our job. So I think there should be no pressure by any leader or any political party. You should report what you have learned as truthfully as you can, because that's your job as a journalist to the public who's reading you.
I just had in mind, did any of them gave you threats? Because journalists generally get threats, because if they write so freely and openly, then it's a problem.
What celebrity will give what threat? I won't talk to you again. I'll be like, fine, don't talk to me again. So, ऐसा कोई threat नहीं. Yes, I think some of them boycott some journalists and say, अच्छा उसने मेरे बारे में लिखा पहले, like that. But I haven't got some threats. But yes, I'm sure people who write politics or write about and in the last few years, we have seen journalists being killed as well because, of talking about various issues that they were. And that's the worst thing that can happen, because they are just doing their job. They're reporting what you're doing. And it's very sad that that's happening.
Yes. So we are done with the questions. If anyone wants more, if anyone wants to ask questions, you can send us, DM us, and we'll get to you. And I'd like to thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank you, Sanyam. I hope this was fun for you guys.
One question.
Yeah, bolo.
What was your toughest part in your career?
My toughest part in my career was working at a fashion magazine, which was Elle, which was very it was all about what you wear and how you fit in and how cool you are. And I was only 23 और मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था उस वक्त कि fashion क्या होता है और ये सब कुछ. So I got overwhelmed by them. So, when there are all these cool people around you wearing all these designer clothes and they are looking at you like you're nobody. So it gets to you because you're younger. But now I'm like, come and work with me and I'll tell you. So that was a hard time. It was my worst job. But after that, I worked at some great places. So I haven't had much
problem. Next question. Journalist Gauri Lankesh was killed. What are your views on it?
Nobody should be killed for telling the truth, right? I mean, we were all journalists were shocked by what happened to her. And, but this is the price I think sometimes you pay for exposing people for telling the truth. And she died doing what she was good at. And that is what we can say. But nobody deserves to die for telling the truth.
Being in journalism stream, is it a threat to our lives?
No, not at all. It's one of the. It's a great profession to be in, and there are many people who have. I mean, yes, there are a lot of journalists who got killed for many things, for talking about things that maybe are considered, have got them into problem. But that could be true for any kind of profession. So don't ever be scared to become a journalist.
Next question from Tanish Chordia. What's the best advice you can give to help plan a career rather than simply work to keep a job?
What's the best advice? To simply learn? No. So how you plan a career is exactly what I spoke about in the beginning, that know what you're good at and then try and figure out different things to do with it. This is all about think about a person like Mark Zuckerberg, who started Facebook. But he's not just now doing. He then bought Instagram, and then he does so many other things, or a person like the Tesla guy. What's his name? Elon Musk. He's not just taking out cars. He's actually going. Yeah, he's going to space. So he's he's taken his passion and done many things with it. तो सोचो अपने दिमाग में बड़ा सोचो. Think big. Think where do you want to see yourself in 15 years? That's how you plan a career and then work towards it.
Okay. It was a great session, ma'am. Listening to you was so
Thank you.
satisfying. I am glad to thank you. We were really enlightened with your presence, Aasthay ma'am.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody had fun.
Yes, ma'am. It gave us an immense pleasure to hear you out. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time to us. And last
Thank you.
but not the least, thanks to all the participants for joining us for the session today. Thanks to Busy Minds and Institute of Engineering Association Local Center Nasik. Thank you. Over to you, Sayam.
Aasthay ma'am, I would like to personally thank you because
Thank you.
At a single text you agreed for the session, and I would like to thank Smith uncle. He is our support system. He is the founder of Busy Minds. Under his observation, we do all the session.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much.
If you guys have any other questions, you should DM me on Instagram and I'll try and answer. Okay?
Just a second. If you want to join Busy Minds, you can fill the form. The form is available on Instagram and our YouTube channel. So if you want to be, you can join it.
Great.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye.